you can't do that if you're stuck. Give yourself some movement and some freedom going back. Stationary parts before I move it. So we're not a statue. Not when you're out on the golf course and hitting full shots. What do we do before we get this moving? The more tension's allowed to come in, up your hands into your body. Paralysis by analysis can really seep in. I really am in favour of keeping your hands and keeping the club face moving. Green light to say, yep, we're off and running here. Okay everyone, so let's get going, and just before I do, thank you for Alan. And Alan's a good friend actually, who's real supported me over my time since I started the academy physically at a driving range in 2016, and then through my time here at Chestfield. He worked with me and he was one of the team here. And Al gave me the suggestion because he really suffers from a bit of tension at the start, and he's like a bit of a freeze over, and we've seen many golfers, haven't we, through on the professional tour, Sergio being one, re-gripping it through the years. And I'm going to give you a few exercises a few triggers to start this swing. And you would have seen between the intro and the start of the video now, I've got a channel sponsor, so it's fantastic to have PDP. All the links are below in the description, and it's great to have PDP, basically Premier Diamond Products, as a partner to the channel. So thank you very much to Steve and Stuart and everyone there at PDP. Right, so let's get on with the video. And how can we get tension away from our body and our hands and arms especially? It's a lead on to the video that how do we start our swing. So we start our swing, like I said before, with our coil, with our belly button, but you can't do that if you're stuck, if you're standing over the ball and the club isn't moving. So I'm a real advocate. My first tip is to get this club moving, keep your hands moving. It's called a waggle. Basically keep the club moving until it's ready to go. So there's no real standing over it, stationary. So we're not a statue. So I really am in favour of keeping your hands and keeping the club face moving. So if I showed you my rehearsal and what I do before I take that club face back, I do pretty much the same thing all the time. So I'm really keeping my hands, I'm not really allowing that club to stay on the ground too long, and I'm just constantly moving. As you can see, there's no real stationary parts before I move it. If you're over the ball and you're not moving, that's when tension can seep into your hands, up your arms, into your shoulders, and then you're going to suffer the consequences of not being able to swing the club more efficiently. So let's get moving. So whatever your waggle looks like, you know, the Jack Nicklaus's of the world, he always kept his hands moving. Obviously, it goes without saying we need to have a nice lightish grip. You need to keep hold of it, but we're not squeezing the petrol out of it. But you're just keeping your waggle all the time. There's no real moving parts until you're ready to go. So obviously it starts in the brain. So it starts with, you know, we need to have nice feelings in our golf swing. We're not thinking about, you know, positions too much, because paralysis by analysis can really seep in. And that's a real bad thing in golf. It's sure, there's time and a place for that in a net where there's no real result based, so you can think about positions, you can stop here and you can start moving, like we've got many exercises on the channel, but not when you're out on the golf course and hitting full shots. What other trigger can we have in our swing to start the first domino correctly? Well, you can have like a kick-in movement. I've got what I've seen actually, and I actually didn't know I did it. I've got a little forward press of my hands, and you don't need to do it with your hands, you can do it with your knee if you like. So let me show you. So you can see there, how I start my process by going that way to allow myself to go that way. I've probably done it a gazillion times, so I don't know I'm doing it now. But it's good to give yourself a pre-shot routine that can really give yourself some movement and some freedom going back. So you can either do that Gary Player style with a bit of kick in with the knee, and that gets you moving, because it's like gets you moving towards a target and then gives you somewhere to go. I've obviously do it with a bit of forward press in my hands, or you can do it with both. Creating a bit of lightness, a bit of waggle, and let's kick in. And you can see there's not much time between when I put the club back to the ball to when I start moving. And I really encourage you to do that, even if it's a bit of a force at the start. Forcing's the wrong word, because forcing brings tension, but it's getting in the habit of, and if you're new to it, you've got to try and be aware of it. So it's not going to come natural, that's for sure. So you've got to really work at it and put the reps in. So all these little triggers, you can do one with the head if you like. Nicholas did it with the head, Woods does it, Faudo's does it. So he just kinks his head back and allows it to go. Hogan, I think, did it. It just gives you kind of a green light to say, yep, we're off and running here. And it's still valid what I said in what starts the golf swing video. It's still a coiling. This is the fraction of a second before that. What do we do before we get this moving? Because the steering wheel to the backswing for me, or the first third of it anyway, is the coil. But these little triggers here, my forward press, little bit of head waggling, is just a green light for it to say, yep, let's go. So you can see I'm looking up, I'm not looking down at the ball, I'm not bringing tension into my neck. If my club isn't behind the ball, so I drop it in and then look up, you can see I'm never really looking down at the ball for a long period of time until I'm ready to go. So that final waggle I do whilst I'm looking at the ball, but I'm moving, and as soon as I drop that club behind, obviously it's going to be different for you, but as soon as I drop that club behind the ball, I go. So however your trigger or however your pre-shot routine looks for you, just make sure you do it every time. Good, bad, whatever club you're hitting. And I'm in favour of less time over the ball, less time static. The more static you are, the more tension's allowed to come in up your hands into your body, and that's never a good thing. So nice and light with your hands, get moving with your waggle, and then drop it, and don't even think about it. And it's easy for me to say that because I haven't got the problem of, but getting yourself in that position and making it a habit that you're really not going to put that club behind the ball and stay there. This type of thing today, taking the statue and the tension away from the golfer before they hit the ball, is for everyone. So if you haven't got a pre-shot routine, or if it's not one that involves lightness and movement, just give it a go. See if you can think about what's going to suit me. Is it a bit more in the hands, or a bit more forward press like I've got? But remember, a golf swing's a movement, and it needs to be light and it needs to be balanced. Okay everyone, so from myself, Trev, and a sunny middle range here at Chestfield, we bid you farewell. Stay healthy on and off the golf course, and if you're playing golf, have a great golfing week, and we'll see you next time. Cheerio! Right, we're going to go for the old 2 bouncer, I reckon, so I'm going to have to put this a little bit of height. Ah, that's perfect. He's run the other way again. What's the matter with Trev at the moment? Oh, he's too excited. Come on, Trev. Good boy.